This desk isn't about looking cool on Instagram. It's purposely built with a budget and is designed for one thing in mind, and that is efficiency. I spend 8 to 12 hours a day at this desk every day for my day job and my side hustle, which is car photography. And since I made my 2025 desk setup video, some things have remained the same and some have changed. So in this desk setup video for 2026, I'm going to be going over all the things that are new and even the things that remain the same. And hopefully this video will help inspire you with your own setup. I didn't have the greatest desk setup from say 2012 to about 2021. I had a few different interesting setups. I went from a simple laptop on a wobbly desk with some peripherals and even a random iHome station for my iPod, all the way up to a custom built desk that my brother made for me when we lived together as roommates for a while, which honestly, that desk itself gave me the inspiration for my current setup. Jumping right in, we're going to talk about the desk first. This is the IKEA Karlby countertop that I've owned since 2021. It's a 72-inch long model, and it's been super solid over the years. It has some bumps and scrapes for me moving, but overall the wear and tear is minimal on this desk, and they were kind of expensive back when I originally got this. I think they are still relatively pricey. So if this is something that's out of your budget, you can always consider getting a regular butcher block from your local hardware store. The one I have right here off to my side for my work stuff is a butcher block I got from Menards for I think less than $100. It is significantly shorter, but overall, I think this is a great setup for anybody who's just getting started and building their own desk. And even the legs that I have paired with it were like $80 off of Amazon. So I think all in all, it was less than $200 to build this desk. And the legs are actually the original legs I had for my big IKEA desk. And this is way heavier, had way more stuff on it. So these steel legs definitely can withstand a lot of weight. Throughout the video, if there's anything that you find interesting that I talk about, I will have any affiliate links that I have down below in the description. If you use these links, they directly support me without costing you any extra money. So definitely feel free to use those links. And if you do, I greatly appreciate it because this video isn't sponsored. I haven't had a sponsored video in a while. So this one is sponsored by me, myself, and I. And if you use those links, I do appreciate you. Coming back to the main setup, the legs that I'm actually using now are standing legs by a company called Huanuo. They were inexpensive and they're able to stretch out to support the IKEA top itself. It has 2 motors and 3 programmable heights. It does not have collision detection, which has caused me a couple issues with my windowsills, but this is a very solid set of legs. And again, it's just the legs. You can attach it to any countertop or desktop that you're using, and it has a long range that it can stretch out and support even the larger tables like the Karlby. These were inexpensive legs, and I think if you're just now getting into the standing desk setup, this is a really good option to look out for. I think it was roughly around $200 when I bought them, but they sometimes go on sale. And for the price, you're actually getting a really solid setup for this. I do experience a little bit of wobbling whenever I do hit the desk, but it is still pretty good and it can hold a lot of weight. Combined, these two desks make an L shape, and this has worked for me well so far. It allows me to quickly transition from my work setup to my personal setup so I can start editing content, recording videos, or maybe I just want to casually play RuneScape for a few hours. Moving on to the chair is just a basic office chair that I got from Staples back in 2021 when I got my new job, and it's honestly not my favorite chair. I don't even want to bother sending you the link wherever it is, if it still exists, if they still make it, because the cushion is completely flattened and the armrests don't even come up high enough for my desk. So my elbows are constantly falling down and I have to like lean more forward into my desk to like rest my arms on the desk. So I haven't quite upgraded this chair yet. I'm kind of holding out until I find one that fits my needs. So for right now, it's just a simple desk chair. But when I'm not sitting, underneath my desk, I have the new addition that I made for myself, which is a walking pad. Now, there are a lot of different walking pads out there. When I was doing my research, there's like hundreds of them. Some of them fold in half. Some of them have handlebars that pop up. And a lot of those just didn't fit my needs. I'm 6'3" and 250 pounds, and a lot of these walking pads had a weight limit of about 220 pounds. And even though that is a weight I can get myself down to, I still don't like running the risk of having a walking pad break on me. So I actually found this one, which is by a company, I don't even know the name of it to be honest with you, but it was less than $300 and it holds up to 440 pounds. It goes up to, I think, about 4 miles per hour, and it can incline up to 12%, which is great because for me, I like to walk on an incline when I'm trying to get more of a cardio workout while I'm at my desk, and then I can make it completely flat if I want to. It has wheels underneath it, so it makes it easy to move it around and put in different parts of the house. So I'm able to go out into my living room and play video games or watch my show while I'm walking, so I don't completely feel useless.
I've never done this before. Thank you. All right, we're done. Holy.
But this walking pad alone has helped me go from averaging about 7,000 steps a day to over 10,000 steps a day at the start of the new year, because it is one of my goals this year to be a lot more active and get my steps in and run more. And what's fantastic about it too is if it fits nicely underneath my desk, I actually took the measurement between my legs to make sure that it was going to fit, and it fits perfectly. I think it was like the exact length or within half an inch. So it definitely worked out. After my last setup video, I had a company called Hexcal reach out to me and offer me this monitor riser. Now, I do have a full dedicated video on this, so I'm not going to go much into detail on what it actually offers, but it definitely is a premium product for your desk. It offers lighting and power solution and even data bridging. So if that's something that you're interested in, I will leave the link down below to that video so you can go check it out. I do think it is more than what I would bargain for personally if I were to go buy this product myself. So I'm going to save you the trouble right now and let you know that this is like a $900 product. But if that's something that you want to check out for yourself, that video will be down there for you. I primarily like to focus on things that are within my own budget because it's just more realistic. But obviously I do like this. It's still on my desk and I still find use for it. It's just something that I want you to consider. So check out the video if you want, but that is a new addition since the last setup video. On top of the riser, I do have my speakers that I've had since I think like 2018, 2019. They're the M Audio BX5s. These are monitoring speakers, so there's absolutely no bass in them. It's not gonna be great for listening to music or watching your TV shows. It's great for editing, which is my primary use for them. And I do listen to them when I'm playing video games, but if I really want to have more bass or more depth to my sound, I will hook up some headphones to my audio interface, which is what my microphone and my speakers are also hooked up to, and that is the Scarlett Red Solo 3rd generation. This is a great audio interface personally for me because when I got it, I had no idea how to use an interface, and this is a very simple plug and play kind of setup. The software is not my favorite. I don't try to use the software very often, and I had some issues in the past with the software drivers on my PC and stuff, but they've worked themselves out, and it's actually a really solid interface to check out for yourself. It does hook up to my microphone as well, which is the Fifine K688 on top of the low profile boom arm, which is the BM88, I believe. Fifine is another company that reached out to me after my last setup video and sent this out to me to review it. Again, I have a fully dedicated video on this where I compare it to another microphone that I was using and recently sold, and even my DJI mic system. So check that out in the description down below if you want to go look for yourself. This is a really, really good microphone, and if you watch any of my previous videos, this is the microphone I've been using, and it sounds pretty good in my personal opinion. Now, the machine that's powering all of this together is my 16-inch MacBook Pro M3 Max. And I talked about this in my last video. This is an overkill computer for what I use it for. And as a content creator, I need something that's fast, that's snappy, that can handle a large load of programs. And this is the base model. So it has a 36 gigabyte RAM and it has a 1 terabyte internal SSD. And so again, just base model, but this has been a super good upgrade from the M1 Air that I used to have. So this is a computer that's going to last me for a very long time. And honestly, I even looked at the M1 Max because I know those are definitely still being used today. But I went ahead and I just upgraded a little bit so I can future-proof myself a little bit more. I am able to edit 4K footage manage my large photo files and play RuneScape all at the same time, no problem. And in case you haven't noticed, I like RuneScape a lot. And that's pretty much the only game I play right now. So I'm able to play it on my MacBook, and I don't really need to turn on my personal computer anymore. The monitor that it's hooked up to is still the older one that I mentioned in my previous video. It's a 2018 model. It's called the LG29WK600-W. That is way too long of a name. It's a 29-inch ultra-wide monitor, and the reason why I got this back when I got it is, one, it was cheap. I think it was $180 when I bought it, and two, it had HDR10 capabilities, and three, the color accuracy. I think it covers about 96% of the gamut range, so this is actually color accurate for my photo editing. Now, it is still color accurate. When I look at the photo between the LG monitor and my MacBook display, the colors still look pretty good. They still look pretty similar, but I will say that the MacBook screen is significantly better than the LG screen. So I will sometimes edit off of the MacBook screen since it's already open off to the side. But the LG screen is still really nice because of the ultra wide perspective. It allows me to do a little bit more multitasking on it. The timeline is a little bit larger. But as far as future state for this monitor, at some point in the future, I would love to upgrade it. I don't know if I want to stick with the ultra wide or if I want to go back to a standard 16:9 aspect ratio. So who knows? On top of the monitor, I have a light bar by a company called Kuntis. Now, this is a brand that reached out to me a long time ago and sent me this monitor bar to try out. It is a really good budget-friendly option if you're looking for one instead of a more expensive, like $100, $200 light bar. So it does have its own quirks and stuff, has its own features, but I think I was like $40, $50, I think. Now, the docking station is the most recent update that I've made to the setup, and this has been life-changing. Previous video, I was talking about how my monitor was potentially going to be replaced because I thought it was having issues. It kept flickering, turning off randomly. I was having connectivity issues. So I thought maybe it's finally going out the door. But it actually turned out that my old docking station I was using was the problem. The old docking station I used was an HP docking station. Secondhand for my job, it's designed for HP laptops, not for MacBooks, but it did get the job done. So I did use it for a little while, but I instead upgraded to a UGREEN Thunderbolt 4 dock. And this was a little bit pricier of an upgrade than I wanted to make at the time, but compared to CalDigit's version, it was actually a little bit cheaper. So I'm actually glad I went with the UGREEN one because it does meet all of my needs. And it does it for a really good price. And it also blends in really well with the setup. Like I can barely tell it's sitting underneath my monitor riser because of how well it just blends in. And it's very silent and it's really good with heat management. I've seen comments on it where they talked about, oh, it overheats, it gets really hot, but I haven't had that issue at all. And I future-proofed myself by buying this one because it does support up to 8K monitors at 30 frames per second. So in the future, when I do eventually upgrade my monitor, or if I have a second one added on, I will definitely be able to use more than one monitor with no issues. The front interface is also really nice too because I have a micro SD slot and a standard SD slot where I can plug in two different SDs, one for my POV camera that I use, one for my Sony, and then the other card for my Sony. If I have both of them being used, I can hook it up to my laptop. So I can have three SD cards plugged in all at once, no problem. And the nice thing about it is too, is that there is no bottleneck with the transfer speeds using the docking station. I still get really good, fast transfer speeds, and I have my external SSD hooked up to it. I have two external hard drives hooked up to it, and it definitely handles everything no problem. In fact, my Sony camera is hooked up to it right now, so I can record directly to my computer. And the way I'm able to do that is by using the Camlink 4K HDMI converter to USB. Now this is hooked up directly to the docking station and it's fantastic. It makes it so much easier to just sit down and record a video. As far as the storage I just mentioned, I have two working storage that I use. One is a Samsung T7 4 terabyte. That's my main one. That's always hooked up to my computer. It's on a little sleeve on the back of the laptop. And then the other one is an Extreme SSD 2 terabyte one, which is just kind of sits on the desk and it's hooked up to the docking station itself. This is like my overflow. So if I have like an old project I'm still working on, but then I have a new project, I'll move it over there and it's a bit of a mess, but it works. And I have two external hard drives that are set up behind the desk, which is a old 8 TB one that I got from Western Digital. There's just personal stuff on there. And then the newest one I got is a 24 TB by Seagate. Now, these are not editing drives by any means. They're pretty slow. And anytime I want to grab something from there, it just takes a while. And it's not the greatest, but it is great for cold storage, which is the intention of those hard drives anyways. Moving on to the lighting, I haven't done anything for my lighting. In fact, I'm just still using the same key light that I have from Amaran. It's their 60DS, and I'm using the Aperture Mini Dome 3, which is a perfect setup. It's sitting on top of a desk mount, which is by Newer. It supports it pretty well, and it has support for light fixtures and even for cameras, which my camera is a Sony a7 IV. I've made tons of videos on this so far, I feel like, and it's been my primary workhorse for the last 2.5 years as a content creator. Does my photos, does my videos, and it's hooked up to my computer like I mentioned earlier. And normally this is sitting up above my monitor on another Newer desk clamp, but I wanted to move over here to get a different perspective because I'm trying out different angles and stuff. Let me know. Is this a good angle? Do I look good? But the lighting itself is actually really good. I think it's like at 20% power. I'm in a really dark room at the moment, and my fill light that I normally use, which is over there turned off, is just a GVM 60 PLC. It's like their pocket light. They sent that out to me a little over a year ago to review, and I think it's a great light. It has a lot of neat features on it, but it is a lot noisier than the Amaran. So I try not to use it too much because my microphone picks it up. The lens I'm using on my Sony is actually the Sigma 24-70 f2.8. It's the Mark 1. There is a Mark 2 out there now, but I have the original one. And this has been my primary lens ever since I got the camera. In fact, it was my only lens for the longest time. And I do have a video if you want to go check it out. I've got like 5 videos in this video, by the way. But I got a video if you want to go check out my own take on a good budget-friendly lens, if it's something that you're looking for when it comes to photography, car photography specifically. But I do have one where I talk about this lens and other good budget lenses that you could get, because this one lens helped me for the first 1.5 to 2 years, almost 2 years, before I bought a second lens, which is primarily for motorsport. It's my 70-200 lens, but between those two lenses, I do all my content with that. So this is a great versatile lens. I highly recommend it. And then I obviously have a filter on it. All the filters I use are the same. They're from Polar Pro, and I do have a video about filters as well, so go check that out. Moving on to the peripherals, these were recent updates for me for the mouse and keyboard. I was using the Magic Keyboard and mouse from Apple, and it did well. Don't get me wrong, but it was still not the greatest experience for me. So about 6 months ago, right before I made my last setup video, I actually upgraded my keyboard to the Keychron K3, and I upgraded my mouse to the Logitech G305. And these are both budget-friendly options for me. The mouse, I think, was like $35, but it closely resembles my old gaming mouse, which I currently use for my work computer, and that's the G502 Hero. It's a wired mouse, but I wanted to try out a wireless mouse that's intended for gaming, technically, but it works really well with the MacBook. So I use that in the Keychron, and I'm able to switch between my MacBook or my gaming PC if I ever decide to turn it on again. But honestly, I think these two are a really good combo for Mac users. It can connect to MacBooks, your phone, your tablet, PC. It has different keycaps if you want to switch it over for Windows. And it just has really good connectivity and battery life. The lighting is all built into the keyboard itself, so you don't have to download any software. You just hit a button on there. You have different light sequences that you can use. And the keycaps are actually really satisfying to listen to. It's not too loud, but also still gives a really good mechanical feel. The mouse itself has programmable buttons on the left-hand side, just like my old gaming mouse did, and it feels good in the hand. I have really big hands, so even though it's a little bit smaller, it does do pretty well for the most part. And you do have a software that you can adjust the DPI settings on there. It has a few different presets that you can use. So if you're wanting to game with it, you definitely can do that. And if you want to edit, which is my primary use case, it's good for that as well. I do wish that the side buttons were a little bit easier to program to my specific applications. I haven't quite dived into that just yet, but I would love to be able to like scroll back and forth on my timeline when I'm editing videos, kind of like you can with the MX Master M4, whatever it is that they have now. But I don't want to spend $100 on a mouse, to be honest with you. So I just deal with it. But they're a really good combo if you want something that's budget friendly, and they're super small and portable, so you can really take it anywhere you want. Speaking of budget items, if you wanted to learn more about all the budget items more in depth that I've used for my Mac setup, go ahead and click on this video right now to go check out that video. And until then, I will see you all next time.